1912. The world's most luxurious ship sets sail, the RMS Titanic. Marketed as unsinkable, it carried the elite of Western society, businessmen, aristocrats, bankers. But timing is everything. A marvel of engineering, a triumph of human ambition. J.P. Morgan, one of the richest men in the world and owner of the Titanic's parent company, the White Star Line, had a private suite reserved on the ship. But just 4 days into its maiden voyage, it vanishes beneath the icy Atlantic. Over 1,500 souls lost. The official story? A tragic accident. An iceberg in the night. At the last minute, he canceled his trip. No reason given. He remained in France. But history has a strange habit of hiding its sharpest truths just below the surface, while his rivals sailed toward their fate. Aboard the Titanic were 3 men of immense influence: John Jacob Astor IV, Benjamin Guggenheim, and Isidor Straus. Titans of industry, opponents of centralized banking. Why did a ship known for safety carry so few lifeboats? Why were distress calls delayed? Why did other nearby ships fail to respond? These men reportedly resisted the formation of a private banking entity, what would soon become the Federal Reserve. And then they were gone. And why did the ship split in half? An engineering failure unexplained by ice alone. The Titanic wasn't just a tragedy, it may have been a turning point, a power move masked as misfortune. Just 1 year later, in December of 1913, the Federal Reserve Act was signed into law, in near secrecy, during the Christmas recess. Because when those who resist the system are silenced, the system moves forward, unopposed. In the next chapter, we follow the money to the creation of the most powerful financial institution in the world, the Federal Reserve. After the Titanic sank in 1912, something monumental followed. Just 1 year later, in December of 1913, during the quiet of the Christmas recess, the Federal Reserve Act was passed. Most Americans had no idea what it even meant. But behind closed doors, a small group of private bankers had just seized control of the United States monetary system. They called it the Federal Reserve. But don't let the name fool you. It wasn't federal. It had no reserves. And it certainly wasn't designed to serve the public. It was a cartel, a private banking institution with the power to print money out of thin air and loan it to the U.S. government with interest. So who were these men? J.P. Morgan, Paul Warburg, the Rockefellers, Rothschild allies. Together, they orchestrated one of the greatest financial coups in modern history. But this plan didn't begin in 1913. It started in 1907, when a manufactured banking panic nearly collapsed the U.S. economy, and conveniently paved the way for a solution: a central bank. It's a scene straight out of a spy novel. In November 1910, 7 powerful men boarded a private train under false names. Their destination? A secluded island off the coast of Georgia, Jekyll Island. There, in total secrecy, they drafted a plan that would become the blueprint for the Federal Reserve. No press, no records, no votes. Just 7 unelected men deciding the future of American money. One of them, Senator Nelson Aldrich, linked to the Rockefellers, helped push the legislation through Congress under the guise of reform. The people thought it would regulate Wall Street. In reality, it handed Wall Street the keys to the vault. Now, instead of Congress printing money, the U.S. would borrow it from the Fed, with interest. Debt became the fuel, and inflation the consequence. Every dollar printed devalued the one before it. Long before the Fed was created, several U.S. presidents warned against private control of the nation's currency. Thomas Jefferson said, "If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issuance of their currency, the banks will deprive the people of all property." Andrew Jackson, who fought the second bank, said, "A den of vipers and thieves." Fast forward to 1963. President John F. Kennedy signed Executive Order 11110. It allowed the Treasury to issue silver-backed currency, bypassing the Fed. Shortly after, Kennedy was assassinated. Lyndon B. Johnson took office, and the order was quietly ignored. Coincidence or consequence? Every time a leader stood against the system struck back. Since the creation of the Federal Reserve, America's national debt has exploded. In 1913, it was less than $3 billion. Today, it's over $30 trillion and climbing. But the Fed doesn't just print money. It controls interest rates, influences markets, and shifts power from elected officials to unelected bankers. And when recessions hit, who gets bailed out? Not the workers, not the small businesses, but the same banks that caused the collapse. Because the system isn't broken, it's working as intended. The Federal Reserve was never designed to serve the people. It was built to control them. Through debt, through inflation, through endless borrowing. And yet most Americans have never even questioned it. They don't know how money works, or who controls it. Only that they need more of it every day. In the next chapter, we follow the players who shaped this new world order through the fire of World War I